Welcome to the Century National Bank High School Football Game of the Week on WHIZ-TV. Presented by Century National Bank. Banking built for living. Today's game is a Muskingum-Perry matchup between the West Muskingum Tornadoes and the New Lexington Panthers. It's brought to you in part by Kokonis Furniture and Mattress First in South Zanesville, Lancaster, and Route 79 just south of Heath. By Fink's Quality Cars and RVs, Fink's Harley-Davidson, Fink's Southside Collision, and Fink's Easy Leasing and Rental. By Norvell's Hearing Aid Centers in Zanesville and Cambridge, always here for you. By Denny's Classic Diner, open 24/7. And by Foxfire Schools, free public alternative education serving students grades K through 12. Scoreboards are provided by the Fink's family of motor vehicles and services with instant replay coverage courtesy the Ohio Educational Credit Union. 24/7 banking convenience wherever and whenever you need it. Now down to the field for this edition of the Century National Bank High School Football Game of the Week.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the WHIZ-TV Game of the Week, brought to you by Century National Bank. Kevin Rao along with the coach, Doug Clifford, and it is a brand new field here at West Muskingum High School. When I say brand new, I mean this is the first game to be played on it, Coach.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's a new carpet out there, new all-weather track. I mean, this place is it's spectacular. And I asked the guys, when was it finished? When did you get done with it? And they said, well, that would be today. So they were still putting the finishing touches on it today.
It sounds like me doing my homework, you know?
No doubt.
But it looks beautiful. You'll be able to tell throughout the night. We've got 3 cameras going to show you various angles of this new field. And they decked it out with all the color and you can skimp on some things. They did not. They had some wonderful support here at West Muskingum. It looks great. And you know what? That's something this program needs. It needed a little jolt. It's had some tough sledding over the past few years. It's a good number on the squad. You got to think that this is going to help them get back to where they want to be.
Well, I think it definitely sends a message to your athletes that the school cares about their performance and their participation in the sport. And they're not done. I've talked to one of the assistant coaches, Jeremy Ketchman. He said there's plans for bleachers on the far side, on the visitor side of the field. There's plans for new restroom facilities, maybe a new concession stand. He said, that's stuff in the future. But he said it's definitely on the drawing board. So they're not done. This is just the start.
Well, they did a great job with Phase 1. Let me tell you, both you and I were down on the field before the game, and it just makes a difference.
It does. It does. I mean, I think now, Kevin, there's only 2 schools in the MVL with natural surfaces, and that's Morgan and Crooksville.
I can remember coming out here. This will tell you where I fit into the timeline. When I'm playing at Roosevelt Junior High School in Zanesville, coming out here and playing their junior high on that field, there were telephone poles right next to the field.
Yep.
Grass was a little tough. Boy, I'll tell you, those days are long gone. It is beautiful. So West Muskingum, we're going to talk a little bit as we go on, too. They fell last week at Bern Union, New Lex, with a new head coach, and you'll talk about that. I know you talked to him this week, Coach. They had a big win at Fairfield Union last week.
Yes, they did.
West will kick off to start this first game on the new turf. Sideline, far side, and it will go out of bounds. New Lex will start at their 35-yard line. I know, Coach, that you had a chance to sit down with Kevin Board, talk a little bit about his first year as the head coach at New Lex.
This guy is sharp as a tack. I know that. I mean, you talk to him for 5 or 10 minutes, and it doesn't take very long for you to realize he has a tremendous grasp of this game. He loves the sport. He loves coaching. He's really excited about the kids at New Lexington. They're going to fit right into what he likes to do on offense. And he's a very impressive young man. New Lex did a great job with that hire.
And the Panthers will get the ball to start here. Logan Ratliff is their quarterback. He threw 4 touchdown passes last week, and they're going for a big one here, but he'll overthrow the intended receiver, C.J. Ratliff.
Well, C.J. was wide open.
Logan is a junior. C.J.'s a senior, by the way.
One of the things about the New Lex squad that Coach Board likes best is their team speed. He said they have fast kids and kids who are just as fast, if not faster, all along the line of scrimmage and their skilled position. So I think we're going to see some more of those long passes tonight.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass, and it'll go right up the middle. And getting about 5 yards, we'll call it 6 yards on the carry. It was Christian Vance. Good power right up the middle, Coach.
Coach Bohr is very high on that young man. Said he's a tough nut. Said he's a dedicated, hard-nosed runner. It's one of the guys he's going to lean on heavily this year.
Carried some folks with him, and he's going to bounce it outside this time. And he'll have the first down and more. Knocked out of bounds in Tornado territory at their 46, but a big first down for New Lex.
If you're going to tackle number 21, you're going to have to be fully committed to that task. He's not going to be impressed with an arm tackle.
Tackle on the sideline by the junior Drew Murray, but a big first down for New Lex. This time they'll send 3 wide to the left. They'll run a little screen behind those receivers and some good running room down the far sideline. He may go, and he does. Touchdown, New Lex from 42 yards out. 11:09 on the scoreboard, so less than a minute for New Lex to be able to get into the end zone, but a very well-designed play as catching and going was Sean Pletcher, the junior.
Nice block out there on the perimeter by Brady Hansen. Had his man on the ground. Good blocking out there on that screen pass, and just from the way the defense was set up, New Lex had an advantage as soon as the ball was snapped, the way it looked to me, and they definitely took advantage of it.
And they will go for 2, will the New Lexington Panthers?
Well, that's going to be a trademark for Coach Kevin Board at New Lexington. He doesn't like the kick.
And Ratliff, little screen in the interior, and easily into the end zone to the running back, Christian Vance. So the 2-point is good. They started out last week with 2-pointer in addition to the touchdown to get an 8-0 lead right at the beginning. They do again this week.
Well, Coach Board is of the school of Mike Greenberg from Mike and Mike days, where Greeny would argue about coaches should always go for 2. Because if you make it half the time, it's the same as kicking, and it's a lot simpler. Well, Coach Board is of the same mind. We talked about that at length the other day, and he likes to go for 2.
You know, there's a whole brand of thinking with some, especially in the South. There are some some high school coaches that always go for 2, always onside kick, never punt.
Never punt.
You know, and that's how they just look at the percentages, and they figure and they'll go for it on 4th down every time as well. So, I said don't punt, right? So
like
they'll go. Yeah.
It's the the same as deals the analytics in baseball and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, in basketball, those coaches that'll, if I don't score in the first, or if we don't stop them on defense in the first 5 seconds, we're going to let them score and then beat them down the floor and try to score 3. It is wild to watch. Those coaches don't necessarily last a long time at those schools.
I wouldn't think so.
But it's a theory, you know. I just can't imagine the first time you go for it on 4th down, like at your own 10-yard line, what the crowd thinks.
Well, you don't have to worry about what the crowd thinks.
Right.
I can tell you what they think.
Yeah. There'll be some parents that may not be on your side for that one. Kick is away, and it goes toward the far sideline, but it'll stay in. Picked up, brought out over the 20-yard line. And so the West Muskingum Tornadoes will get started there.
Last week, Coach Board said West M did not show a running back. There's 3 wide receivers to one side and 2 to the other on every snap.
Well, I think, you know, and I know you talked to the folks on the West M side.
Yep.
But they've had some injury issues.
They've had some injury issues. That was the main reason why they ran that formation last week. But there's nobody back there with the quarterback on this snap.
And that's Dylan Paget, who is only a freshman. Now, they may get a quarterback back in week 5?
4.
Week 4. But until then, it'll be Paget.
Whoa.
Well, that's Canadian League
Yes,
right there.
it
You can't do that. But you'll get a practice here of running the football. And the unhappy recipient is Dakota Joseph Bates, a sophomore, but a couple of people in motion. So they're going to take the result of the play. So Joseph Bates, a hyphenated name, will have the carry, and he might have lost a foot. We'll call it no gain, make it second. They're going to mark it back a yard, so we'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, that's a good call by the New Lex staff.
But if you're Padgett, you just got to feel lonely back there. In motion goes Joseph Bates. And he'll go back the other way, kind of a self-contained counter there. And he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage.
What a difficult assignment for a young man. Starting quarterback as a freshman.
And he's listed on the roster as a running back, so you know he did not get a lot of 7-on-7 time.
And they've had some injuries. Their starting quarterback, according to Jeremy Ketchum, I think Coach Ketchum told me he had a broken leg, would be back by week 4 maybe.
This time Padgett will keep it, and he gets it out over the 25, or maybe they'll say it was down at the 25. Create a 4th down for the Tornadoes, but tell you what, he got a good job getting out of the grasp of a couple of would-be tacklers. And in fact, on the play, a gain of 3, 4th down and 7. Let's see if they'll go back to punt it away, and it looks as though they will.
Well, if they punt the ball to number 32, they better have their running shoes on because this kid's fast.
Yeah, that's C.J. Ratliff. We saw his speed at wide receiver in their first possession. Kicking it away is Landon Murray. Good snap back. Left footer.
Oh, that's
good
right
high kick, but it's going to go to Ratliff.
Look out.
And he'll head to the near sidelines. He's surrounded now, and he'll be brought down just inside West Muskingum territory. Got a player down for West Muskingum.
Boy,
So you see a good punt.
I think he got a finger in the eye.
Yeah, he took his helmet right off. We're talking about the player down.
Official timeout for
Well, while the player's down, we're going to take a timeout. 9:21 to go in this first quarter. West Muskingum on, or I'm sorry, New Lex on top here at West Muskingum, 8-0 in the early going. The injured player for West Muskingum came off under his own power. We hope he's all right. New Lex with their second possession of the game. They're going to look to throw. They go right back to that bubble screen, and it's intercepted and almost. Almost in and out of the hands of Zane Rollins. Again, they ran that little bubble screen out to the left side, and you'll see here that Rollins, coach, almost had the gift. He just couldn't hang on.
Oh, he's going to be dreaming about that one tonight.
So 2nd down and 10. I don't think you expect that to happen. They're going to fake the bubble.
Look out, look out.
And they're going to go deep, and they've got a receiver, and it's going to be another touchdown. That's Brady Hansen. He had a couple of touchdowns last week. And this one goes in from 47 yards, a couple of long passes from New Lex. And, Coach, he was wide open.
Wide open. His pump fake, hitch and go. He made that little stop and hitch, looked back at the quarterback. The defensive back bit on the fake, and, man, it was all over.
So a 42-yard pass, now a 47-yard pass. This one from Ratliff to Hansen.
You know, for the most part, it looks like the Tornadoes are playing man-to-man defense, and that's a tough assignment. If the kid across from you is faster and a little better athlete, that's a tough assignment.
And they will kick this one, and it's Hunter Kellogg. Sophomore kicks it through, and just like that, it is 15-0 in favor of New Lex. We'll take a quick timeout. New Lex in a couple of scores on their first 2 drives. 15-0, they lead it here at West End. Hunter Kellogg will kick off for the 3rd time tonight. He started things out in the opening kickoff, then a couple of touchdowns after that. And be taken by West Muskingum at the 21. Heading to the outside, good speed. The 30 out to about the 34-yard line. That's Jay McCullough. Officially on the roster is Jacques McCullough, but he goes by Jay.
Nice tackle by the freshman, Zach Robinson, 6'1", 185-pound freshman.
So good field position for the Tornadoes at their own 34.
Great place for young players like that to get some playing time on those special teams.
And, you know, we were talking up here before the game that West has a lot of young players on their side of it. And in a couple of years, you know, that experience, we've seen it with a lot of teams over the years where they get the experience as young players, and it really pays off down the road.
if they stay in the program.
And that's
They
what you
have
got.
to stay in the program.
That's why you have a nice new field, Coach.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, we're going to timeout called by West Muskingum. We will take it. 9:02 to go in the first quarter. 15-0. New Lexington in the lead. West Muskingum first down and 10 at their 34. Well, I tell you, it's really easy to see which yard line they're on, Coach.
Yes, it is.
This is a great field.
3-by-2 formation. The slot man on the weak side comes across and takes a nice loss.
McCullough on the carry, but back to greet him is Brady Hoops. Or is it Seth Burgess? Nope, Seth Burgess back there. Burgess picked a spot, and the runner ran right to him.
Well, that's good scouting. You know, if that's one of their plays, and that's a play you have to stop, and he was right there where he needed to be.
He's one of those interior linebackers.
Look out.
And once again, we're going to get double motion. This time they will take the penalty. Be my guess, as good positive yardage by Padgett.
5-yard penalty remains second down.
So they'll mark this one back. Padgett, a nice run. But
That play's big in Calgary.
well, you know, and it probably is a call at the line, Coach, about which, or at least
Right.
I've seen those offenses run that way, and they're just not getting the word out to the edges.
Well, you know, when you're coaching, you tell those kids, make sure you go in motion at the right time. Well, if you think it's you, and you don't want to be late.
So second down and 20.
Showing outside blitz by the outside linebacker. And
Well, and that's Seth Burgess again.
they kind of put the play on hold for a second.
Padgett.
He's coming.
And he's just a quarterback run all the way, able to get by one tackler. We're going to get a couple of flags thrown.
On the carry, penalty marker
That's
down.
usually, it's either holding on the offense or a face mask on the defense. And it's going to be, nope, holding on the offense.
Tornadoes. Tackled by Kellogg.
And it must have been bad enough that a couple of guys threw their flags.
Yep.
So West going the wrong direction on this possession. That might have been one of those, Coach, and you and I are both linemen. That might have been one of those
Penalty is
that
declined.
the defensive lineman was going to kill somebody.
That's exactly right.
I'm just not, I don't care.
That's
I'll take the
exactly
penalty.
right.
I am not letting him hurt my quarterback.
And the quarterback won't complain a bit.
No, he will not. We've all been there.
They're flashing the signals for the play in from the sideline, and players are having a hard time seeing over top of the helmets of the New Lex defensive line.
Padgett,
There go the motion, correct.
Joseph Bates will get the handoff coming out to the right side, trying to get the edge, but again, good defense. This time it's Clayton Hinkle, the senior. Boy, their linebackers run well, Coach. I mean,
The way Coach Board described his defense, the guys on his defense that are going to be challenged the most by the opposing offenses are the outside linebackers, and he says he has two outstanding young men there with great speed. He said so. That's a key position on this defense, the two outside linebacker spots.
And Hinkle actually plays a little bit interior too, so I'm not sure where he was coming from on that one, but he made a good play moving laterally. So fourth down and a lot. 22. Another punt situation for
Here comes
Landon
the block.
Murray. And he's able to get away, but kind of pops it straight up. Heads up play in the middle of the field by Hunter Kellogg, who himself is a kicker, so he recognizes those situations.
Well, you know, usually you tell your kids to get away from the ball like that, but it looked like it was an easy pop-up for him. He did the right thing. He cut the ball and got on the ground, protected it. And, the ball's going to be first and 10 at the West End 38-yard line. So New Lex not only are they a two-touchdown leader at this point, they're completely dominating the field position part of the game. I mean, they've started the last two times on the West End side of the 50.
6:47 to go in this first quarter.
It's another big time for a big pass.
Two wide out here to the near side. And
We're going to run it.
go to Vance, and he'll be tripped up. Good tackle, saving tackle in the middle of the field by Cullen Van Ruin.
Cullen
Vance on the carry.
definitely saved a big play that time because Vance had a head of steam going. I fully expect to see him come out of the pile clean.
So second down and just about 2.5, we'll call it 2. Ratliff will put Vance on his right side in the backfield. 3 receivers out that way. And Vance will get it again. He's got a first down. And down to the 25-yard line. Watch it here. Some good interior play by Wes Muskingum. And looked as though it was Cameron Foraker in the middle to make the tackle. This time more of a pistol formation. Vance will go off right tackle and get past a couple of would-be tacklers.
Well, the previous 2 running plays were read option dives. Quarterback read the play and read that he should give the ball instead of keeping it, but that was a predetermined handoff all the way. Looks to me like they're just working on their running game on this series.
Van Ruin again coming in from his DB spot to make the tackle. Second down and about a yard. New Lex already a couple of touchdowns, one on each of their first 2 drives. Throw on a slant, and wow, we're going to get a couple of flags, but let's watch it if we have that again. And there's going to be interference called, but boy, I tell you, well, he did get his hands on him. Wasn't able to come back for it, and again, it drew more than 1 flag. Looked a little soft as we were watching it in live action, though.
Interference against the Tornadoes. First down.
So this is a first down for New Lex.
Yeah, he probably has more contact getting in the line for lunch at school than that thing.
Yeah, that was live. It didn't look like a whole lot, did it? It's a little power formation. Vance will go off to the left side, and he will get into the end zone.
Vance, 16-yard run for the score.
And so 16 yards on the carry. And New Lex in for the 3rd time in this game with 5:13 to go, first quarter.
Well, the entire game's been played in this end of the field.
It sure has. They're going to wear out this side of this new field now. They need to
put new carpet down. They don't watch out.
West needs to move it down this time. Again, a 16-yard run for Vance. This, they'll kick it again. Went for 2 the first time, kicked it the next 2, and Kellogg is true once again to make it 22-0 in favor of New Lex. We'll step out for just a moment. 5:13 to go in this first quarter. We'll be back right after this. Hunter Kellogg to kick once again as New Lex this time takes it in the end zone, running the football. It was Christian Vance, the senior, running it in from 16 yards away. Kick down the middle will be taken by McCullough. Looking for some help in the middle, and he'll run into the pack at about the 31. So West, again, and not to make any excuses for the Tornadoes, but this is a very young team to begin with, and then you add injuries on top of it. Suddenly you have a freshman wide receiver playing quarterback.
Well, New Lexington has a new head coach this year in Kevin Board, but he didn't inherit a team that was with an empty pantry. I mean, they had some good players coming back, and he's taking advantage of that. He has some good skilled players, and we've seen an example of that, from the start of the game.
A fake to Combs, and Padgett will keep it, and he'll get it out over the 35.
Padgett on the quarterback keeper.
And we're going to get a penalty.
Yeah.
I think that's going to go against West Muskingum.
That's going to go against West Muskingum.
And you understand the frustration, but you just got to keep your powder dry on this stuff. You just cannot do it.
The young man, the left tackle, executed an excellent block, finished it off, had his man knocked to the ground, and then had to make a statement about it. And, that's just that's going to get called every time.
Yeah, it sure will. And you're just right in front of the side judge here.
You're not in the NFL where that's part of the show.
Ball's marked at the 21-yard line.
I mean, that was the Tornadoes' best play of the night.
And that is
all for nothing.
And I believe it will be second down because it was a dead ball foul after the play.
Sure, I'm sure it will be.
Padgett, see if he sends somebody in motion. Nope, this time he's just going to run it himself. Finds a little crack, and he'll go get it out over the 20-yard line. He's not afraid. I will say that. He is not a big guy. We don't have the heights and weights for West Ham on their roster, but He's going to feel a lot of this tomorrow morning.
Oh, baby.
But he is unafraid. And again, only a freshman. So 3rd down now and 21. And they'll look up and get the signal from their coaching staff. Josh Whetstone is the head coach for West End. We approach the 4-minute mark of this first quarter. Combs in motion. Fake to him. Padgett will keep it. Got a block out front. We're going to get another penalty flag thrown.
Padgett on the carry. Penalty marker on the punt.
It will be a 4th down. Well, it is a 4th down at the end of the play. We're going to get a hold against West End. My guess is it will be declined.
That would be my guess.
And
New Lex is playing a 4-3 defense. Penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down now, Kevin.
But a good run by Padgett. And West will look to kick it away. Drew Murray out there throwing a block out in front of him. So West Muskingum looking to kick it again to New Lex, and the Panthers will once again have good field position.
Well, last time they came for the block and just missed it. That number 82 out there in the end, Braden agrees to him, and he is a tall stretch. He could, I think if he'd extended his arms on that one, he'd have blocked it. Oh, whoa!
Nifty little move in the middle of the field, but C.J. Ratliff will run out of room, and maybe the worst field position so far for New Lex, they're 42.
Well, he made a complete 360 right there in that spot. Looked like he could have been around a bottle cap. And if he'd just kept stretching it to the outside, he may have outrun the entire team. Trying to break it up the middle.
But good coverage down there by the Tornadoes.
It was.
So 1st and 10 for New Lexington. 3:21 to go in this first quarter.
This is their worst starting spot for field position since the opening kickoff went out of bounds and they started at their own 35.
Oh, that's right. Forgot all about that. But they erased that pretty quickly with a couple of plays. In fact, a 42-yard pass for the touchdown to cap it. And we're going to get timeout called by West Muskingum. We'll take a quick timeout to catch our breath. 3:21 to go. First quarter, 22-0 New Lex here at West in the lead. Quick timeout called by West Muskingum. The defensive staff didn't like something they saw. They switched it around. 1st and 10 for the visiting New Lexington Panthers at their 42. Yeah, kind of little power I formation out of that shotgun. Hand off to the tailback. Some running room out to the left side. He'll cut it back, looking for some help crossfield. Gets a block, cuts it back again, and he'll be knocked down at the 13.
That looked like a Christmas shopper at Easton, trying to find a place to get in for their sale. Man.
Lane Talbot on the carry. Good block out in front by Zach Evelyn.
Some offensive lineman all the way down the field. Good effort.
Yeah, they'll be asking in the film room to show that about 10 times. All the hustle down the field for New Lex. The fake, quick throw over the middle's got a receiver, and it'll be Kellogg, and that'll be a touchdown with 2:59 remaining here in the first period.
Little play action dump pass to the slot man. Nothing to it.
Ratliff last week threw for 4 touchdowns. He's got 3 here in the first quarter. And they are 3 different players. There's that one to Kellogg, who would then turn around and look to kick the extra point. Out of the hold of Logan Ratliff, the quarterback. Kick this time right down the center.
He has good distance on that kick. I mean, looks to me a threat for a field goal when they need it this year,
He's
too.
the one that'll be mad. They go for 2 all the time.
I know it, man.
Well, that makes it 29-0. We'll take a break. New Lexington leading here at West Muskingum on their brand new field. Will you quit doing that? Kellogg scored the touchdown, kicked the extra point, and he'll kick off. And it'll be taken by McCullough. I'll tell you, he's just got to learn to run north and south, Coach.
Oh, man.
He's got great speed, but he always wants to go east and west. I think they'll talk to him after this week.
Well, 52 for New Lexington. Brandon Heinerman, he's in on about every tackle on the special teams. He really gets down the field. Nice effort.
Yeah, it's a good job. And McCullough, who looks to have good speed, just gets himself going again toward the sideline rather than right up the field. So Padgett has gone all the way at quarterback, and he has had an empty backfield on each play as they essentially, Coach, they're running kind of a wing T as they either give that jet sweep or fake it, and he's going to throw it. He's got a receiver down there.
It's picked.
And it will be intercepted. That was not a bad pass, though.
No, it was
right
not
on
a
the
bad
fingertips
pass.
of Landon Murray.
I mean, I think you can put that in the category of who wanted the ball the most.
But I tell you, that's a nice
It's a
ball
nice
coming
pass.
out of Padgett's hand.
Yes, it is. Go up and get it. Go up and
Just
get it.
And a fortunate bounce and good play by Will Stenson.
Kind of like that catch Swan made in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of that. So Stenson, the senior, gets the interception, and Murray comes off, holding his chest just a little bit as he probably took a shot as he came down. But New Lex gets it right back with 1:48 to go in this first quarter. And
That ball had some mustard on it, Kevin.
I tell you, Padgett, that's not a bad arm
that
there
was
at all.
not
Again, only a freshman.
That was not a typical throw from a freshman. I can tell you that.
And he put it right on him.
Yes, he did.
Just a little better coverage and
It was great coverage in the back there.
and Stenson made a real nice play.
Yep. He was in perfect position, came up with the ball.
I mean, he's a receiver on the offensive side. He's split in the slot to the right here, but he knows what to do when the ball's up in the air. That was the old joke about defensive backs, Coach, if you remember that. Why is he a defensive back? Well, he can't catch.
That's right.
But that is not the case
No, not at all.
at this level, for sure.
Vance back in there at the running back spot, picked up a few yards.
And some good defense. And it's coming from behind. I'll tell you, this Van Ruin kid is all over the place. He's a defensive back, and he just finds a way to get through a crease and come make stuff happen. So on the play, a pickup of a couple. Vance going to carry it again, find some room off tackle, and he'll fall forward for first down and some more inside West Muskingum territory at the 41-yard line. But he gets ahead of speed, Coach, and he wraps it up. Very strong runner.
That's just that outside dive play. I mean, he heads for the outside hip of the widest blocker, and he didn't slow down.
We approach the 1 minute mark of this first quarter. Keeping it this time will be Logan Ratliff, and he'll be brought hard to the ground.
A little counter play. We saw that last week from the Sheridan Generals in their game with Licking Valley. The backside left guard and left tackle pull, come to the right side. They fake play action to the left and run the ball back to the right. Counter with the quarterback carrying the ball that time.
Good tackle in there. Aaron Staffy, one of the guys, along with Andrew McPhee. Second down and 8. Quick pass to Vance in the flat, and he's got some running room. And he will be down the sideline. He gets past the trouble. Good block out in front by C.J. Ratliff, and he will score from 39 yards out.
Well, he had a great block at the line of scrimmage, too. The other wide receiver screened the DB. Who is that? It's like number 10 for New Lexington, if I saw it correctly.
That's Will Stenson. That's the fella just made the interception.
You know, Stenson absolutely built a wall between the receiver and the defender. Nice job by him. Another touchdown. Wow, first quarter.
Ratliff 4 passes now for touchdown. Vance his second. He's got 1 running now and 1 receiving. Ratliff equals his output from last week with those 4 touchdown passes. And we are just about to complete this first quarter. Again, it's Kellogg out of the hold of quarterback Ratliff. And once again, it is good. It makes it 36-0.
Hunter's going to have to buy a new Rouch shoe if this keeps up.
And he's going to be
wear the
kicking
toe
off
out.
here in a moment. We'll take a little pause before that happens. 36-0, New Lex leads here at West Muskingum. .31 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and New Lex has done just about everything right in this one against a very young and depleted West Muskingum team. McCullough, this time he gets a little more north and south, and he takes advantage of that speed, and he'll get it out almost to the 35-yard line.
Nice tackle by Zach Evelyn that time. 5'8", 130-pound junior.
Throwing his body around a little bit, wasn't he? Yeah, that's, I'll tell you what, that's unafraid. You have got to commit when you make tackles like that. So again, Paget, empty backfield. He stands in the shotgun, sends 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Tell you what, if they've got any kind of pass out into the flat with these linebackers cheating just a little bit,
there
so
it
they're
is.
going to run a little screen out to the right, but just didn't quite get the block out there. And good defense by Christian Vance. But that's the idea. So you see, again, nice throw out there.
That's the main play that outside linebacker has to stop against an offense like this, that bubble screen.
Yep.
And right now the kids for West End are no match for Vance.
That will end the first quarter. New Lex has scored each time they have touched it in this one, and they've done so in pretty quick fashion. They lead it here at West Muskingum. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this. Second down and 14 for West Muskingum. Paget sends 3 wide to the short side of the field. McCullough back in motion. Fake to him. Paget runs out of time as he's slung to the ground by Jeff Longhenry.
Well, the defensive line at this point in the game with a 36-point lead, I mean, all you're going to do is rush the passer.
Just pin your ears back.
I mean, just pin your ears back and go. I mean, you can get the defensive call from the sideline and say, I might do that, but I'm going after the quarterback instead.
And after the sack, 3rd and very long for the Tornadoes. And Paget going to fake the jet sweep to Joseph Bates, and he'll hold on, but no gain on the play. And again,
well, this is shaping up for another field position flip, unless they can convert this first down. And
it's
it's
fourth down now.
Chief.
Yep.
It's 4th down and 25.
Yep.
Wow.
It's just hard to get any momentum going. So in to kick it away, and Landon Murray was the player that shaken up a little bit on the interception on the last possession, but back in there now to kick it away. And I think we're going to have a delay of game, or did they call timeout in time? Nope, got a timeout, and we will take it. We've just started things here in the second quarter. New turf here at West Muskingum. What a nice job they did there. We'll be back right after this. So West Muskingum uses their last timeout to save themselves from a delay call, and they'll look to punt it away. New Lex will once again have pretty good field position. Landon Murray is the kicker. Left footer. Nice one down the field. It'll bounce once,
perfect
but
bounce.
right to
Look out,
Ratliff.
look out.
And we're going to get a penalty. Got a couple of calls here.
Looked like a push in the back, and that was really that was an unneeded block.
Well, you can watch it here, Coach.
He was going to come up right in there.
Yeah, he didn't need it.
And it was, he's already behind. You teach your kids never block behind the runner. He doesn't need your block once he's past you.
Well, and with C.J. Ratliff, most people are behind him.
Right.
Because once he gets ahead of steam.
Exactly.
After the penalty, it'll come out to the 46-yard line, still in West End territory.
When I saw that bounce hit the ground one time, the ball hit once, bounced perfectly to CJ, I thought, man, this is going to be gone. And he nearly was.
Yeah, he's a little different cat than most folks.
You tell your guys on your punt return team, only block if you have to.
Logan Ratliff. There'll be a jet sweep coming out.
Look out. Look out.
That's C.J. Ratliff,
He's
the
gone.
aforementioned. And if you don't take the right angle on him, he will score. And he does from 46 yards out. 10:16 to go in this second quarter.
I mean, that was – he's coasting from this point here. I mean,
Pretty good blocking at the point of attack there, too.
Oh, my, yes. Well, New Lex is off to a great start for the 2019 season and Kevin Board's initial season as head coach.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Panthers. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Now, yeah, so it is. I'm sorry. I thought they do have some power to assess it at different times, but there was an unsportsmanlike against New Lex, and that will be assessed on the kickoff. Hunter Kellogg again, but this one's blocked.
The extra point is blocked by the Tornadoes.
Nice effort that time. Nice effort by the West End Tornadoes. It takes a lot of heart to go in and try to block the extra point to prevent it from being 43 in the second quarter.
Well, while we have a chance, let's tell you about where we're going to be next week. And I think we'll have a great one, Coach. At Zanesville as Tri-Valley comes down to take
will.
on. Now, I don't know. Rival is kind of an interesting word in that because Zanesville's had some tough sledding. But tell you what, after their performance in Newark, they look like they're the real deal.
Well, you know, we have yet to get the right balance when Tri-Valley's up and Zanesville's up at the same time. We've just kind of had a yo-yo at that situation.
Yep.
And but yeah, that could be a real game this year. That could be a real barn burner. I'm looking forward to that.
Zanesville had a nice performance.
Always look forward
Newark.
to going to your alma mater, that we just get treated so well, just like we are here at West End.
You know, that's right.
But the people at Zanesville really treat us well. Press box gang up there does a great job for us.
Because they've forgotten all the stuff I did there as a high schooler.
I would have to say I'd have to go along with that.
That was so long ago. You know, it's easy to forget. But I always look forward to going back. You bet. One of the great facilities, really, in all of Ohio.
Yes,
at
it is.
Zanesville.
Yes, it is.
I just look at those hills that I had to run starting in Biddy League as a North Bear.
What is it with hills and football coaches?
I have no idea.
We had a levee, a flood levee
is that
in
right?
Portsmouth. We had to run that stupid levee. Well, not all of us. It wasn't a team event. And
I told him, you know, I'd smuggle in an inhaler. Just say, I've had a coach.
the guys on my team painted a little sign and put it on a stick and stuck it in the ground and said, you know, Doug's Way or something like that on it, because I was there all the time.
We have a whistle.
Called by New Lex.
A timeout called on the kickoff. Well, we'll take this one. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but okay. 10:16 to go in the half here at West Muskingum. We'll be back with more action right after this. So we actually did see a timeout right before the kickoff, Coach. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen that. Been doing this a while.
Well, I can't say that I've ever seen one of those.
I think it was a T malfunction, or they wanted to because they had a holder out there. I think Zach Evelyn was going to have to hold it, but they obviously found a new tee right over the middle.
Well, the up backs The lineman has that
Tell you
one.
what, and he somersaults into New Lexington territory. That's Andrew McPhee, the senior.
You may have to.
Can we get him a 30 or
I was
40
going to
number?
say, you might put a 32 on that kid. He's rumbling.
Yeah, look, he knew exactly. He played off a block and then did it. Instead of landing right on his head, did the somersault. I'm telling you.
Well, this is West Muskingum's best starting spot of the night. They're finally in New Lex's territory.
And they've got a new back taking the snap. And he's going to look to throw right away, and it is caught by McCullough. B.J. Rich Creek, another freshman.
I don't think anybody saw that ball coming except the receiver.
It's a good thing because he is between a couple of guys that can go get it.
It was in a crowd.
He got it in between. See who was out there. It was Seth Burgess and Vance. Nice throw. 2nd down and 4.
Comes another one.
Going to the other. It's
Not
going to be
this time.
picked off. And I think Ratliff's going to take it.
That's a 6.
As Rich Creek will not be able to get him. And that's about a 32-yard line, about a 68-yard interception return. And again, he just watched him all the way, and Ratliff just sat back on it, playing center field. And
well, young quarterbacks really aren't. They really don't read defenses. They know the route their receiver's going to run, and by golly, they're going to throw that ball where that kid's going to cut. And they're just kind of oblivious to coverage. And that time, Ratliff was just like you said, Kevin. He was just waiting for that thing. He saw that coming all the way. I mean, the quarterback looked at the receiver as soon as he got the snap. And he just read that thing all the way.
Kellogg in to kick it. This time, it is tipped, but actually goes through. So West Ham getting some good rush on the kick attempt, but this one gets through, and it makes it 49-0 in favor of the visiting Panthers. There you see the New Lexington band made the trip from Perry County. We want to give a little hats off here tonight to one of our camera people, John Cox, who grilled some burgers for the crew today. I want to say a special thank you from me for the cheeseburgers.
No doubt
Very
about
nicely
it.
done. I think he's running camera 2 tonight. John
I
Cox.
thought he was on camera 1.
Don't start with that. We had a kind of interesting beginning of this game where we discussed who had which camera.
Well,
And I think you pointed out that who was on first.
Well, we're gonna work on those primary numbers with our director next week. We'll get that down pat.
But it is John Cox and Tom Hatfield are the camera operators on top of the
Now
box.
be careful.
tonight.
Just don't give away our director's name because he has to remain unanimous in this situation.
Thank you.
We can't,
Thank you, Yogi.
we can't let him get away.
Thank you. Kickoff. And taking it about the 26-yard line. Some running room out over the 30. That's Drew Murray, the junior. And we'll see if Rich Creek is the quarterback on this drive. Again, they've had a couple of freshmen running that empty backfield quarterback spot. Good arm. He just telegraphed. And again, for a freshman, that's the kind of stuff you learn coming down. And you've got some pretty talented guys, skill guys on all across the field, but especially on the pass, those skill guys able to read it. And the handoff on the jet sweep. That's Padgett.
Oh.
And he'll get it out to the 40. Pickup of almost 5 yards for Padgett.
You know, we've been so quick to praise Christian Vance for his offensive skills and his running the football tonight. Well, he played off a block that time, just like you draw it up in 2 days practice in the summertime, and just played off the block and made a tackle. That was a nice job.
That was a textbook tackle. 2nd down and 5. And no formation they'll look over. What they're trying to do is get some feedback from the booth as to the defense and what might work, and they'll now let everybody know what that is. See that a lot at the college level as well. And a pass out in the flats, got a receiver out there, and a good block out in front, and just a couple of yards, but actually nicely executed. McCullough put a block on out there as well. The catch made by Ethan Combs, just a sophomore. Couple of yards, make it 3rd down and 3.
Landon Murray had a nice block. There's a nice block out there.
3 receivers to the short side, out to the wide side of the field, to this near side. Rich Creek, the quarterback blitz, looked like it was coming. So let's see if they adjust the play to account for that. Sometimes then defenses will back them out. Play clock down to 2-1. Snap just in time. Fake on the jet sweep right up the middle, 1st down. And into New Lex territory is Rich Creek. Boy, he had a good.
That was a nice read that time by BJ in the quarterback spot. He saw the defense go with the man in motion and cross the 50-yard line for the 1st down.
First down of the game for West Muskingum. But again, good read, as Coach said, by BJ Rich Creek, the freshman quarterback. McCullough came around, and you've got to respect him if you're the defense with his speed. Rich Creek took advantage. Quick screen to McCullough, and he'll be hit right away for a loss. Again, Vance is right out there.
Well, he's tough. He is a tough football player. Christian Vance, 6 feet, 181 pounds, senior, running back, outside linebacker. He's just one of those kids that just give him a helmet. He knows what to do.
Just a football player.
Yes, he is.
So actually a loss on the play of a yard, 2nd down and 11.
Well, I'm anxious to see how long it takes the Panthers to decide to put on some serious pressure on this young quarterback.
Although
they don't really need to.
No, it's getting out of his hand pretty quickly, though, even without that pressure. Fake on the Jets, and they're set up a screen, but
it took about 10 seconds. Yep.
In there on the play for the sack was Braden Agriesti. Agriesti, there you go. Sorry, that's a Perry County name.
Yes, it is, and his daddy's a really big guy, so we're going to say his name.
Well, you know what? I do not want to mess that up. I appreciate it.
Works the courts.
Okay.
There
As a lawyer, I should know that.
Yes.
So my apologies to the family. We'll get that settled.
That's why Talbot was in on
one
that
of the many reasons you're here, Coach. I just want you to know.
Well, we will be in Perry County eventually.
But having said that, he is 6'6", 195. You don't expect guys like that to be that fast. Rich Creek looking, tucks it and goes. And he'll get some positive yardage out to about the 44-yard line. So it'd be 4th down and long, but a little more sustained drive this time for the Tornadoes.
Well, BJ Ridge Creek has kind of added a little excitement to the offense, that's for sure.
Yeah. And he's got some decent size for a freshman. He's going to come over and actually talk to the booth for a little bit.
Well, you know, when you're starting quarterback as a freshman and you put your backup quarterback in who's a freshman, I mean, that kind of speaks to your level of depth, doesn't it?
It really does.
Look out.
C.J. Ratliff, and he will be knocked down inside West Muskingum territory. Boy, when he gets going, though, you just hope you got a couple of bodies around him.
Well, you know, if you're an opposing team scouting tonight, you're scouting, you play New Lexington next week, it's hard to tell a lot because of the, West End's so young and they're just not very good yet. But, boy, one thing that sticks out of your mind, you don't want to punt the ball to number 32.
No. I think that's one of the things you can definitely take away.
You can definitely take that away. I mean, he could be a game breaker.
Yeah, you can tell that coming out of the huddle. In fact, he's the player down here closest to us on the screen. Vance jet sweep, and Van Ruin, I'll tell you, this kid.
Nice tackle.
Sticks his head in on every play.
I like that guy.
Cullen Van Ruin. And he came from some distance to make that tackle.
Good tackle.
He's a defensive back.
Yep.
Kind of a cornerback / safety in the way they run it.
Well, look at their defense. There's nobody on the West End defense deeper than 5 yards from the ball. So that, they're playing man-to-man on the far side of there, 3-on-3, man-to-man down here.
You just need one guy. And Vance with it, and he'll run over a tackler. But Did he take the ball away
I
from him?
think he did.
And it
You
is
bet.
West's ball. That's Colton Olney. Olney is a senior. And I'll tell you, that's a pretty good job because Vance, you can see it was right on his hip as he went down. And
Yep.
Olney sitting right there just takes it right away.
Great job by our camera crew to pick that one up.
So 1st and 10 for West. Muskingum, they get it right back with 4:26 to go in this first half.
It's about the first unhappy thing that's happened for New Lexington tonight.
Rich Creek is going to hand on the jet sweep going left side to Joseph Bates. Now, it sounds like I'm saying his first name and last name, but that is his entire last name, Joseph Bates. First name Dakota. And in the process, we'll give him a yard on the play, make it 2nd and 9.
Eveland on the tackle.
Just about 4 minutes left here in the first half.
It's just so hard against this New Lex speed to go side to side because they'll come get you.
That's right.
Rich Creek will fake this time on the jet sweep, and he's got a receiver out in the flat, complete, and to midfield, very close to a first down.
See if they give him that. I think they will.
That's the junior Landon Murray. Now they're going to say
mark it back.
they're going to say his knee was on the ground at the 49, so a yard short. I don't think that was as nice a spot as the Tornado fans would have liked right there. 3rd down and just a little less than a yard.
Nice pass, nice catch. See if they can convert the first down here.
Rich Creek just going to run the quarterback, and I think New Lex interior knew that was coming.
Yep.
Rich Creek brought down by the interior of New Lexington.
You know, that might have been one of the old Tim Tebow jump passes right there because the linebackers, nobody was left, and loses a yard on the play to make it 4th down and 2.
Well, they're not going to punt.
No, they are not. West Muskingum going to go for it, needing a couple of yards from their 48.
Let's make that little out pattern to this guy on the wide side up here.
Rich Creek, here comes the blitz. Well, they thought about it. Let's see what Tornado coaching staff does to account for that. Yeah, they're still coming. Throw out in the flats,
Stop.
complete, a 1st down.
Nice job.
That's a nice play call right there
Yes, it
against the
was.
pressure.
Tackle by Clifford. That's another
Murray went out,
first down.
across the sticks, knew he had a 1st down, stopped, just turned around, the ball hit him in the chest. Great execution that time by the West End Tornadoes.
Sean Pletcher on the man-to-man out there, able to get the tackle. But a 1st down for West Muskingum. We approach the 2-minute mark of this first half.
Need to be moved.
Joseph Bates in motion, the fake to him. Rich Creek just can't get away from behind as grabbing the jersey from behind was Trey Kennedy.
Tackle by Troy Kennedy.
A couple of yards, but I tell you, that's where you need those old tearaway jerseys, Kurt.
I'm telling you. You know what I was thinking, Kevin, is you certainly tell when a freshman runs up against upperclassmen because they just get slammed to the ground instead of falling
That's right.
forward. You know, that's tough. I mean, you're playing against kids who are just,
And here comes,
yeah.
there's just not enough time for a straight drop back, and Rich Creek going to be tackled all the way back.
No, Greasy was in there.
I was going to say it first now.
Okay.
I was going to say Greasy got back there. Okay, now you can talk about it.
It's all Greasy. Brady Hoops was in there. Yeah, it was a jailbreak that time, no doubt about it.
So 3rd down and long, and Rich Creek just does not have a lot of time.
Here they come again, too.
And this time
Boom.
but it's knocked down. In there quickly was Hunter Kellogg. And that'll stop the clock with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, you know, that's still the Panthers starting lineup out there for the most part. It'll be interesting to see, how Coach Board plays this. I mean, they're going to have what's the lead now? 49 to nothing. How many of your starters you're going to play in the second half? There will be a running clock in the second half because there's a 30-point lead. So
good snap back. Plenty of time for Murray. And
he's going to get the sideline.
And good pursuit by West Muskingum, but they almost didn't seal it off. Heads up play by Aaron Staffy.
Sean Pletcher on that return.
And you can see Staffy here at the end did a good job to keep him from heading further down the sideline. But again, just didn't seal that outside. And he might have stepped on the line there. Pretty close, but there you see Staffy.
You always have somebody on your punt return team that has contain, and you tell that guy with contain you are not to come to the inside until the ball carrier crosses your face and it starts up the field. And, boy, when you do that, if you go inside too soon, there's no one else out there. If you're the last man on the outside, the only guy he might bump into is somebody on the sideline.
Ratliff in the shotgun. Hands up the middle to Vance, and he is brought down. Penalty flag thrown as well. Hunter Fox on the tackle.
I think Mr. Vance is saying that someone had his face mask.
Yep. And that is going to be the call. And with time running down here in the first half, if you're West Muskingum, boy, sometimes it's hard. You're reaching. Wow, they just kept walking.
No.
Holy smokes!
Follow the foul.
But he stopped a couple of different times, and then
he was getting tired. It's a long penalty.
Yeah, it is. Down to the 37-yard line in West End territory. Clock running.
Maybe had some of John's cheeseburgers.
Oh, and a hit in the backfield. Vance will then finish off the run there. Staffy brings him to the ground.
Camden Cooper had him in the backfield. And it's just a load to stop. He's just not. Christian Vance just isn't impressed with that first effort on the tackle. I mean, he's just not going to stop.
And Ratliff does not have to run a play if he doesn't want to, and I don't think they're going to. As the play clock, a little bit more than the time clock, 5 seconds and counting. And that will do it for the first half. 49 points for the New Lex Panthers. And West Muskingum starting to get some momentum on the offensive side. We'll have a running clock to start the second half here at West Muskingum. We'll step aside. Coach and I will be back after a break for third quarter action. We'll do it right now. Kicking off is Hunter Kellogg. And it will be taken at about the 20. And out over the 30 goes Drew Murray. So West Muskingum will get started. And they had some little momentum going at the end of that first half, Coach.
Well, they did. They sent in the B.J. Ridge Creek at quarterback, and he threw a couple passes in there, threw an interception for a touchdown. But he had some nice completions, ran the ball well. Is that him back in there?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Rich Creek.
Good call, Coach.
Freshman. Dylan Padgett started out that way. And in fact, that's Padgett getting the ball right there on the jet. And it's going to be knocked out of his hands. It's on the deck. But I think West Muskingum got back on it. They did. Landon Murray able to jump on it. You can see, though, just helmet right on the ball is Vance. Again, a form tackle. Helmet on the outside of the runner.
Padgett is, they've advised him to sit back down. It looks like he may have had the wind knocked out of him, but he's on the carpet right now.
Well, we'll take a timeout. We're early on here in the third quarter at West Muskingum. Back with more action right after this. Dylan Padgett came off under his own power. They're going to take a look at him. Second down and long after the fumble. Throwing right away, in and out of the hands of McCullough in the flat. Would have got the lost yardage back, but can't hang on. It'll be third down.
Boy, B.J. delivered that ball with number 55, Seth Burgess, right in his grill that time. Stood in there and got the pass out, got it on time, had the receiver. Should have been a completion.
Takes a special person to step up as you're throwing it when you know you're going to get tagged.
Well, one of the things you have to teach a young quarterback is you can't watch the pass rush. You can't. You just have to pretend like they don't exist. And, we tell them, don't worry about it. You'll find them sooner or later.
Of course, that's easy to say.
Much easier to say.
When you got guys bearing down on you. That pass incomplete. Now the clock will continue to run in this half, at least until West Muskingum gets it below 30 points.
I can still remember seeing our head coach at Kirksville having a little chat with our quarterback as his lower lip was split and bleeding, and said, you can't look at the pass rush. You have to look at the coverage and your receivers.
Right.
And step in there and throw the balls. That's a tough assignment.
And sometimes you're better off not seeing the hit coming. You know what I mean? If you're a little
bet.
looser. But after that first one, it's tough not to look. Murray back to kick it. A bit of a high snap, plenty of time. Gets it away. Near sideline coming, and it'll be out shy of midfield. Now the clock does stop on the change of possession.
Landon Murray's punt goes out of bounds at the
And they'll mark it out at the 45-yard line. So let's see how long the starters operate for New Lex as they look to get their second win of the season.
Well, we've really harped on the great offensive players and the skill and the speed for New Lex's offense, but their defenses, they haven't even had a threat tonight.
Well, they just don't give up the outside.
No.
And fake on the jet, then a handoff to Vance, coming right tackle. Good blocking, point of attack.
He's gone
by New Lex, and he's going to go.
He is gone.
So just like that, he found the seam, got his foot stuck in the ground, and headed to the end zone. And he goes in from 45 yards out.
Just that little misdirection was all they needed, and a nice block down the field on that linebacker by number 55, Seth Burgess. Seth is playing quite a game on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's a player. For Vance, that is his third touchdown of the evening. A couple of rushes and a pass reception for a touchdown as well. Hunter Kellogg back in there to kick it. Kellogg listed on the program as a quarterback as well, so we may see him in a couple of years. This one hits the crossbar and falls short.
The extra point by Kellogg is no good.
So we'll take a timeout. 8:52 left to go in this third quarter. New Lexington adds to their lead on their first possession of the second half. We are back. That is our illustrative camera 3 right there, run by Tim Cox down on the field. Well, I tell you, that's a good-looking field right there, and nice camera work to give you a shot of it. New Lex stretches their lead here at West Muskingum. And we mentioned at the outset, Coach, that West Muskingum very young and depleted at the skill positions coming into tonight.
Well, Jeremy Ketchum, their assistant coach, told me, he just kept rattling names off of kids who weren't in the lineup tonight. There were like 4 or 5 kids. One's no longer on the team. 4 or 5 were hurt. That's tough.
McPhee again, the up back, shows good skill for a guy wearing number 60 running the football. And so out to the 44-yard line. Looks like we got some younger guys in on defense now for New Lex. Rich Creek throws out in the flats, got a receiver complete.
Oh, nice
All
move.
the way to midfield and just ducks inside New Lex territory as it's Ethan Combs, the sophomore.
Nice tackle by Will Stinson that time on the sideline. They picked up about 6 or 7 yards, Kevin.
Combs comes up a little gingerly on that right leg, but a good job to haul it in and get upfield after the catch. 7-yard pickup and a handoff to McCullough. And again, just no place to go. Good defense by Ryan Hobbs, a freshman. Good speed. You shouldn't be able to run that fast as a freshman.
Well, Coach Board, he just was excited about the speed of this team. I mean, he thought that he just has speed in every position he needs. And I know Coach, Bill Nutt, we talked one time on our way to a clinic several years ago that he was going to make the transition from size to speed, especially on defense. He wanted kids that could run. He didn't care if they were 150 or 140 or 137. He said they can run, they're going to play defense. And, New Lex has kind of been in that pattern since Bill's been the coach. And when you look at their defense, there's not very many guys out there that look like they've had donuts for breakfast.
No, that's right.
They all look like thoroughbreds.
Yeah,
even their pups.
They will be looking to reload after this year. They do have some really talented seniors, but from the look of things, they're going to be good for a while. 4th down, kicking it away is Murray. And it'll bounce, come back toward the Tornadoes. They'll down it right around the 40-yard line in New Lexington territory. Next week, Coach, we head to Sulzberger and Zanesville High School. It'll be Tri-Valley coming to town in a non-conference game. But I don't think that'll take away from the luster of that contest.
Not at all. Not at all. I know the Tri-Valley knocked off, was it Logan in week 1 without much trouble, I think 35-7. Zanesville polished off their big rival Newark, or as you guys say, Nurk.
Am I allowed to say that? I guess I can.
But in early season games, you just never know. You don't know really a whole lot about your team until maybe week 3, just depending on who you've played and who you haven't played at that point.
Hunter Kellogg in there at quarterback now, but he's going to hand off to Vance again, and Vance is going to try to go. One guy to beat, and he will stall him enough as it was Drew Murray running stride for stride with him, forced him to come back, and West Ham able to get the tackle at the 5.
Good hustle by Murray that time. Man, Vance come out of the backfield that time. He was shot out of a cannon.
Well, Vance will come out of there now, and I'm sure he would have liked to have one more play, but they'll bring in the young guys. Kellogg was already a quarterback. And now in the backfield with him. And Kellogg's going to keep it, and he will get into the end zone coming left side as he made the fake to Ryan Hobbs, the freshman running back.
Good read option that time. He read that the dive back was going to get hammered, and he did. As soon as the fake got away from him, the running back was pounded. Quarterback just kept the ball, and when there was nobody on the outside, he walked into the end zone. Good read.
So Kellogg actually had a touchdown as a receiver with the first squad. Now, as quarterback, runs it in, and he'll look to kick the extra point. This will be a broadcast he'll run back a few times. And the kick is away, and it is good. So it makes it 62-0 in favor of New Lexington. We'll take a timeout. New Lexington able to get another one on the board here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back right after this. After the long run by Vance, Kellogg takes it the final 5 yards, puts New Lex on the board once again here. But I think what you look for, Coach, is for West Muskingum, you're looking for flashes, some good things, and they've had some things that they'll be able to go over.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Positives to take out of this. And these young guys, they're going to want it to count here soon. Little pooch kick is on the
fellas.
deck. I think West got on it.
Well, you look for effort. You look on your game film and you look for effort, and where you look for lack of effort. And all you can do is ask your kids to do their best. And right now, that may not mean points on the scoreboard. You just want to see them fire out. You want to see them sustain their feet. You want to see them run the ball, protect the football when they're carrying it, throw the ball on time. On defense, run the football. So those are the things you got to establish before you worry about winning games. You have to establish the basics.
This time they run a trio of receivers next to the lineman on the right side, and one of those guys is in a break, and it will be just a little bit short. Rich Creek.
That's a tough throw.
Yeah, it is. Trying to get to Combs.
I mean, that's a tough throw from where he was at to throw that ball all the way to the sideline on time with a little bit, mustard on that thing. That's a tough throw for a young man.
Zach Evelyn on good coverage out there. Evelyn just as a junior. Again, clock running here in the third quarter. And once again, jet sweep coming to Dakota Joseph Bates, a sophomore. No gain on the play, make it 3rd down and 10.
Ironman on the tackle.
I see a few subs coming in. There's still some starters out there for New Lex.
Yeah, they're trying to get some folks in. Agristi is still out there. That's
yes,
the guy.
He is.
He does the longest strides. 6'6". Pass down the sideline, looking for McCullough, but good defense once again by Zach Evelyn.
Zach Evelyn coverage for the
And that'll make it 4th down and 10.
Nice coverage that time by Evelyn. He was in perfect position. Squeezed the receiver to the sideline. Had good position on the football.
Yeah, we were talking, Agristi's still in there, that 6'6" defensive end, just a junior.
He hasn't even filled out.
No, he has
Look
not.
at him. I mean,
You're going to be able to hang some weight
he
on
has
that
sticks
young
for
man.
legs. I mean, if this kid fills out, he's going to weigh 350 pounds and not look like he weighs 180.
Well, he just needs to keep that speed. That's all you care
Yep.
about. Murray this time, pretty good rush at him, but able to get it away. Kick taken and then drop, but Evelyn right back on it.
Murray's punt is down by Zach
2.5
Evelyn.
minutes remaining in this third quarter.
Take over on their own 37-yard line.
Again, next week we will be at Zanesville High School as Tri-Valley visits the Blue Devils. Hope you can join us next Saturday as well. Got some good ones coming up.
Yes, we do.
Western Muskingum Athletic Department
But, you know, just like
members of the chain crew,
when I coached, Kevin, it's, you just look to the next one.
Yep.
You don't worry about week 7. Right now, I think the coaching staff for New Lex might be thinking a little bit about Maysville right now. That's their opponent for next week, I believe.
Yep. Kellogg at quarterback. Hands off to Hobbs. Hobbs looking for a lane, finds some running room, gets it into West Ham territory. Next week, we may add some elements to the broadcast. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But I think folks who watch us regularly will want to look for some new things next week as we add to our broadcast arsenal.
Ooh, I
that sound
remember,
big?
yes. I remember some of those little features we talked about.
Yeah,
yes.
So stay tuned. 1st and 10 for the Panthers, right at midfield. Kellogg and again looking for room, and we're going to have a tackle for a loss by the Tornadoes, as Hobbs just could not find anywhere to go.
Nope, a little too much dancing. Nice play by the Tornadoes that time.
Off the bottom of that pile, Camden Cooper.
Well, you know, they're down what? How many points? Oh, yeah, 62-0. But look how many kids for West Ham ran to the football that time.
Well, you know, and
I like that. I mean, I think that's you have to start. You have to go with something positive, and that was a very positive look for me.
running back, new ball carrier, gets it, and we're going to get a penalty flag down.
I think we're going to get an attempted theft of a jersey by a New Lex lineman. Yes.
On the carry that time was Liam Mildenstein, Jr. But, you know, you were talking about the effort by West Muskingum in the face of a big deficit. It says a lot not only about the kids playing, which you mentioned, but also about the coaching staff.
You bet.
That they have been able to keep these kids their focus on the game.
You know, I haven't seen any coaches on the West Ham sideline going berserk on a kid. I mean, They're doing a nice job. They're doing the best they can. Hats off to those guys.
And they're teaching, yes. And that's what it comes down to. Well, that's going to run out the clock on this third quarter. We'll take a break. New Lex scored a couple times in this second half, but some momentum going on right now for the West Muskingum Tornadoes. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after this timeout. We start the fourth quarter here at West Muskingum. It'll be second down and long after the penalty against New Lex. And Kellogg setting his guys up, taking his time on the count. Handoff coming to the near side, then a cut back up. Get some of that penalty yardage back. He's carrying the football. Well, it's a number that's not on their roster.
Well, that witness protection program is definitely working.
Well, it's funny because the folks up here in the booth don't have it either, so they just gave credit to the number. The old routine, I started cheering from a number. Third down and 18 to go for New Lex. Again, Kellogg is the quarterback. And they'll look for the bubble screen. They've got it to Evelyn, and he's going to be hit and dropped. We do get a penalty flag thrown. Let's see what that's about. But Foraker on the tackle, well done.
It's like a preliminary call is holding against the Panthers.
And West Muskingum, good enough job on that defensive stand. They can decline that penalty. But Foraker, a good job on the tackle. So set to punt it away will be Tatum Toth. He is a freshman. And this would be the young punt team in there right now. Good snap back. Freshman kicks it away. High in the air, but not deep. And it'll bounce and picked up. Nicely played. On one hop.
Make something happen.
I'll tell you, that was Cullen Van Ruin, who has had a whale of a game tonight for the Tornadoes.
Yes,
what a heads-up play.
He's just like a little tornado, but he's not very big. But, man, he brings a lot of action to the game. I like that attitude.
The football equivalent of the gym rat, that's what the kind of play.
You bet.
He just is everywhere on the field doing whatever he can.
Not the size of the dog in the fight.
Absolutely. Back at quarterback is B.J. Rich Creek, the freshman. And we get a timeout on the field called by West Muskingum.
I think we're a little short on personnel.
We'll take the timeout as West Muskingum has it at midfield to start this drive down in this one, 62-0. We'll be right back. First and 10 for West Muskingum after the punt return by Cullen Van Ruin. And his last name, by the way, so you'll know at home, R-O-O-Y-E-N, Van Ruin. Rich Creek throws over the middle, and good defense, knocking it out of the hands of McCullough.
Well, that was a perfectly timed hit by Lucas Ratliff.
There's another Ratliff back there?
Second down and 10.
Yes, there is.
Man, they just keep showing up.
Well, we got Logan, we got CJ, now we got Lucas.
I think they've surpassed their Ratliff quota on this team. And all of them can play. That's
all
the
of
thing.
them.
Now, at least in this game, they put on a show.
Look out.
Rich Creek can't feel it coming from behind, and he will be sacked.
Nothing like a quarterback sack. Isaiah Wagoner, 5'11", 130 pounds of Panther fury, and a freshman to go along with it.
And he gets the sack inside West Muskingum's 45-yard line. So we got a lot of young kids playing now on the Panther side of things. Boy, this is an exciting time for them. Rich Creek with McCullough in motion, fakes to him. They're going to run the screen, but just a little short.
Screen pass intended for Drew Murray.
Trying to get it back to Drew Murray with McCullough as a blocker. He had some room to run had he been able to grab it.
Brandon Heinerman on the pressure that time. You teach your kids on defense If it's a screen pass and you're the closest one to the quarterback, then you keep the pressure on the quarterback and force him to throw the football and depend on your teammates behind you to make the play.
And we'll get Murray back in there to punt it away.
Well, wait. Oh, hang on, boys. Hang on. There we go. Shorty guy.
And West Muskingum glad to not
Whoa,
see CJ
that's too many
Rattler.
guys in the backfield.
Yep. Flag is thrown. Good kick high over the middle and taken
Fumbled.
and dropped. I think West might have got on it.
And it's going to be to no avail because they had 5 guys in the backfield.
You're right. But a fumble is recovered. And it's going to – the signal is illegal procedure, but that's exactly what was going on. Too many guys back there. So it would look as though West Muskingum will have to punt it all over again.
You can have 10 guys on the line of scrimmage.
But
you have to have 7.
otherwise, you would have some interesting formations put into play, would you not? So marked off, and Murray will once again look to kick it away. The left footer.
We had a staff meeting one time. We put up a defense against a team we were going to play, and we couldn't find a play they could possibly run against that defense until 45 minutes later we realized we had 12 guys on our defense, and that's what made us look so smart.
Murray lets it fly.
Fair
Fair
catch.
catch called for. Taken by Aiden Human.
Nice job. Get the fair catch signal up. Come up and caught the ball. What an advantage that is when you can catch the punt as opposed to letting it hit the carpet and bounce down the field.
Makes a big, big difference. And there are those guys that just don't want to call for the fair catch, but there's a lot of times you need to.
Yep. You know, whether you use the fair catch or not, if you can catch that punt, you maintain good field position as opposed to starting inside your own 20. And one thing the football will do on this carpet stuff,
it'll
bounce.
go. Yes, it will. Now, what you haven't seen a lot tonight, a lot of new fields, they put the black rubber in there as kind of a buffer. And you really haven't seen a lot of it kicking up tonight. You did a good job getting this field ready because you said they finished today, right?
Well,
basically.
Well, not on the field, but on, like the trimmings around the place.
Yeah. But, I mean, the field usually is kind of interesting because how those pellets kick up, but I haven't really seen much of that.
I remember a few years ago when Maysville was putting their new surface down, and they hadn't quite finished gluing the carpet down or whatever, at the end of the day, and they were just going to do it on the following Monday. And a big storm came up overnight, tore the carpet up, tore the field up. They had to redo the whole thing just about.
Man.
It was a mess.
That's a worst-case scenario. Kellogg taking his time. Again, this field, like most fields now, has a play clock to look at. Dobbs on the carry, but he'll be tackled for a loss. Hunter Fox back there again. Nice play by the senior.
Yes, it was. Good effort. Tackle for a loss. The helmet sticker.
Yeah, that's right. So 3rd down and about 13 to go. Kellogg with Dobbs to his right. 3 to the right side of the formation, 1 to the left. Look to throw on the quick bubble screen, Evelyn. And he's going to head back to the middle, but there's a lot of tornadoes back there.
I think the first guy on the scene for the Tornadoes was number 42, Fletcher Rollins. He missed him the first time around. Came back and ended up making the tackle. Nice
Stay
job.
right in the play.
You bet.
I say you want to talk about good coaching. So he went over toward the sidelines and he made the motion that he should have on the first time he went, the tackling motion that they want him. And he showed the coach, this is what I should have done. The coach just nodded his head. But he came back and got in the play, didn't he? I mean,
yes,
that's the mark.
Oh,
really
nice
good
punt.
punt this time.
Wow.
And there's that bounce you were talking about,
Whoa,
Coach.
yeah. I don't think there's enough black rubber pellets to stop that ball.
And the West Muskingum player tried to jump on it. And then let's see what the call is going to be. Referee down there doesn't know exactly what to do. He's going to say it's New Lex ball, though. Not sure why the West Muskingum player went back and jumped on it.
Well, you can advance a fumble on the punting game. You cannot advance what is considered a muff.
Right, where you don't have possession.
Right, the player doesn't have possession. That's what Coach Ketchum is explaining to the young man right now. You don't need to touch that ball in that situation. Let's see how this goes here.
Just not. I think he was trying to keep it from going any further. But again, he kind of got knocked into it.
He kind of got knocked in. It was a heady play by the New Lexington Panthers.
Yeah, just stay away from it. But that's a lesson learned.
Yep.
So New Lex will have it at the West Muskingum 11-yard line. And new running back will try to get around the edge, and he'll be knocked out of bounds short of the goal line on the carry. And again, that's our famous number 45. We apologize. We'd like to know that young man's name, but not on the roster. And the clock running no matter what happens right now, 3:17 and counting. And again, there's 40 seconds between the time the ball is put down and the next play needs to be run.
We just have to call 45 the Lone Ranger.
That's right.
Who was that?
Well, his parents
Who
will
was that
make sure that his
masked man?
name's on the roster next week, I'll tell you. And we're going to get a timeout call. Nope. It's going to be a penalty call, delay a game. And really, New Lex showing some good sportsmanship there. They're just letting the clock run as much as possible right now. Now, after the penalty, 25 seconds put on the clock. That's the one time when 40 seconds is not on the clock, or one of the times. Kellogg, empty backfield. Back in motion, 45. He'll get the handoff. Has to cut it back in, but nice tackle. And guess who that is?
I don't have to guess.
Cullen Van Ruin.
Yep.
25 on the carry. Brought down by Colin Van Ruin.
This kid does not take a play off.
Well, the best thing about Cullen is he's just a junior.
Zane Rollins in on the play as well.
He'll be one of those kids that the West Muskingum coaching staff counts on for the next 2 years.
So again, New Lex in no hurry. Let's see if they try to run a play before the play clock expires. 6 seconds and counting. Well, that's when the pistol first started. That was the way you ran it. Instead, they're going to take a knee here.
That's the victory formation in the spread.
That's right. If you're not used to, and there are teams that just never take a snap under center.
That's right.
And they don't know how to do it.
I think I saw an HBO deal where Gruden was interviewing Marcus Mariota, and he'd never taken a snap under the center ever.
It's
junior high, high school, college, anywhere.
But then if you ever ask them, you're afraid they're going to break a finger, right? Because they just don't know how to, they just never practice it. So under a minute now. Clock, play clock. This actually will probably be the last play that they'll run, because then the clock will expire on the play clock. And Kellogg waits. Now he'll take a knee. And it's going to be, they're going to play one more. Let's see if the referees just kind of, actually, I think we're going to be okay. It's right. I think it's the same thing. It is. So they do not have to run another play. Some good sportsmanship coming down the stretch here by the New Lexington Panthers against a young and we mentioned depleted Tornado team. But I'll tell you, they played with a lot of enthusiasm and, they just went after it in the second half as they did in the first. But a lot of credit to this West Muskingum team. It is not easy to be in their spot, but in a couple of years, we'll be glad to call them in a playoff game. How about that?
You bet. I'd love that.
And that will do it tonight, Coach. Let's talk briefly about this one. New Lex got a lot of things done they wanted to accomplish tonight with their first team, and then they got some experience for the second team guys.
Well, they did. Their offense executed extremely well tonight. Their defense pitched a shutout. They got a lot of kids in the game tonight, a lot of game experience for everybody on their squad. They're a well-disciplined team. They didn't make very many mistakes. Even when their younger players came in, we had a couple of holding penalties, but we didn't have jumping off sides, and we didn't have 10 men on the field and those kind of things when younger players tend to make those kind of mistakes. So, it's a well-coached team. and people in New Lexington will appreciate that. I mean, they've been football fans, and New Lexington's been a power in this league for a long time, and they're anxious to get back to that status. So, Kevin Board, 2-0, headed into
2-0.
Maysville next week. So, great start for the Panthers.
On the Tornado side, on the West Muskingum side, again, hats off to the coaching staff and the kids because, you didn't see anybody hanging ahead. They were out there playing hard until the final gun, and they should be real proud of that team because this is going to pay dividends down the road.
Yes, it will. They played tough. I mean, their attitude was there all night. They never quit. We saw that at the end of the game. Colin Van Ruin was flying in there making tackles. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of promise here. They just have to stay with it.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you, Van Ruin's already got my vote as a all-star in this league, as an all-league guy. He played very well indeed. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Coach, we'll be at Salzburger next week at Zanesville High School. Tri-Valley coming to town ought to be a good one.
I'm going to be wherever these cookies are.
I'll tell you what, thanks to the Knavel family finally.
Yes, you bet.
For the cookies. And, again, to our crew here tonight, doing a great job. We appreciate all the work that they do to make us look good here in the booth. That will do it for us tonight. 62-0 is the final score in favor of New Lexington over the home West Muskingum Tornadoes. And hats off again to the Tornado staff and all the boosters and the sponsors and the donors to put in this new turf here. It is fantastic. We look forward to coming here next time and calling a game. 62-0. New Lexington does win it here at West Muskingum. For my broadcast partner, as always, the coach Doug Clifford, I'm Kevin Rouch. Good night, everyone.